Chi-Town 3 shows tonight. This is Inside Monster Jam. I'm Jerry Bernardo. I'm going to be the host, telling you everything that's going on. When you're the host, you get to hang out on top of the cars. Cycle Wars, quads, BMX, and of course, your favorite, monster trucks. Stick around, it's going to be great.
8 of the biggest and fastest monster truck racers gathered inside the sold-out Rosemont Horizon for the opening night of a weekend full of intense racing. The biggest applause was saved for who else but Dennis Anderson and the Gravedigger. Off the line, you could tell Digger was on tonight as he takes out Mike Nitschke's Rambo in the very first round. Digger coming around the Chicago-style course in Digger-like fashion to put the victory away and to advance into the next round of competition. Tony Farrell's Wild Thing tested everybody's nerves when he almost tips it over. Although he loses to Carolina Crusher, Wild Thing had one of the season's most colorful rides. In the semifinals, Carolina Crusher took on Sky Hartley's Snakebite Ford. Snakebite ruins any chances the Crusher had of winning with a solid run on the roundy round track. Driving a new truck usually means a grace period to get up to speed, but not for Gravedigger. After 6 weeks, fans were wondering if Dennis Anderson could still dominate the field with his hardcore Digger style. No problems. He knocked off Paul Schaefer's Monster Patrol in dominating fashion in the semifinal round to set up a Digger Snakebite showdown. Anderson kept the critics at bay after this run as the 1950 Chevy almost passes Snakebite on its way to the run for the checkered flag.
Ladies and gentlemen, the famed Dennis Anderson, we finally meet. Look what you did to these vehicles.
Hey, man, that's what we're out here for. We got to tear up these vehicles, turn on the crowd, and I like to win when I do it.
Hey, you won tonight. What about that?
Hey, that's pretty cool, man. This is a brand new truck. We've only got about 6 weeks in the seat on it. I'm still getting used to driving the truck. The truck's got a lot of power. It's feeling good. We're still dialing it in, but all that does is give us more drive to work on it harder and make it even better, and I love it when we win.
Yeah, all right, everybody goes down like Carolina Crusher, who flipped over tonight. You see him try and save it? He always going around.
He almost saved it. And I was watching him in freestyle. I told Ricky, my crew guy, I said, he's going to be the freestyle man tonight. And I was keeping my eye on him, and if he could cut out a donut without rocking the truck up, getting over on 2 wheels, then I was going to come out and spin a donut. If he dare rock the wheel up, I wasn't going to do it because I just crashed this truck. We just got it together night before last to come here. We had to drive 1,100 miles after putting it back together to come race here tonight.
Mr. Anderson, we're looking for great things for you in the future with the Gravedigger, of course. Fresh, brand new truck. Didn't wad it up. But look what he did to this equipment down here. Busted it all up. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's winner, the Gravedigger.
Coming up on today's show, you'll flip when you see the stadium lights racing from St. Louis. A bizarre truck contest. IMJ's Adam Murphy introduces us to a high-flying BMX team. Quads bang it out in a special regional matchup between Team Chicago and Team New York. And a special group of kids get an opportunity to meet their favorite professional wrestlers and football players at the Tampa Monster Jam. All that and the best racing on TV. Coming up on Inside Monster Jam. Get dominated with Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger. Everything you want to know. Stuff you've never seen before. Rollovers, car crushing, and stuff Dennis didn't think we caught on tape. One rockin' monster, one crazy driver. Get domination today. Call for your copy or send a check or money order for $14.95 plus shipping and handling to Domination, care of Pace Motorsports, 477 East Butterfield, Suite 400, Lombard, Illinois, 60148.
1997, what a year for the sport of Supercross.
Bar to bar, the 1997 Supercross Series, the ultimate extreme sport.
McGrath, look around this down, and then he's under the bike.
The hottest video ever.
You can expect a lot of fire.
Call for your copy or send a check or money order for $14.95 plus shipping and handling. Care of Pace Motorsports, 477 East Butterfield, Suite 400, Lombard, Illinois, 60148.
Inside Monster Jam.
And now it's time for a monster moment.
Monster Moment.
This week week's IMJ Monster Moment comes from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, where Steve Kane and his King Kong monster truck sent chills down the spine of everybody that witnessed this crash.
When I come over that second set of cars, it got really squirrely on me, and it looked to me like I was going to hit that wall, so I was trying to compensate for it when I was, before I hit the ground, turn the wheel a little bit. And I think I turned the wheel just a little bit too much, and, when she hit the ground, that front end really hooked up. I don't know, I seen that sign coming up, and all I was trying to do was get it turned back over on its wheels, but nothing worked,
Fortunately, Steve Kane escaped harm. The only damage was to the police car stuck underneath the carnage.
Ugly trucks.
6 trucks competed in front of 54,245 fans at Houlihan Stadium in Tampa, Florida. No, not the monster trucks, but the gnarliest looking four-wheelers I've ever seen in the ugly truck contest. As far as I'm concerned, these guys are all winners, or for that matter, losers driving these things.
Demolition Derby.
21 drivers knocked fenders at the largest demolition derby in Washington State.
Got a little fire.
A delay came when a small fire broke out on the number 79 car driven by Phil Schultz. It was promptly put out, and the ensuing carnage fest resumed. It came down to last year's winner, number 69, Mike Rathke, and the battleship of Steve Peter. This one looked like it would never end, but when the battleship loses its rear tire, it was sunk, and Mike Rathke was declared your winner.
AMA Supercross.
If you like arena cross and stadium motocross, you're going to love the most extreme motorcycle racing on the planet, Supercross. The 1997 AMA Thor Parts Unlimited Supercross Series has been burning up the country. The series features all the superstars of Supercross, including Jeremy McGrath, Jeff Emig, Larry Ward, Kevin Windham, Ezra Lusk, Doug Henry, Greg Albertine, Mike LaRocco, and Ryan Hughes. Whether it's a knack-knack, heel clicker, or Superman, these guys can do it all. Record-breaking crowds flock stadiums around the country to catch a glimpse of the ongoing saga between Emig and McGrath. With the 1997 season culminating in Las Vegas, it'll be a fight to the finish line for the #1 plate.
Okay, Bob, as Director of Operations, I want to know about a few different things. First, let's talk about the Roundy Round track. Can you kind of explain that to me?
Yeah, Roundy Round actually started in Chicago, Illinois, where we're at right now. One starts on one side of the building and the other on the other side, and they basically just chase each other, make 1 to 2 laps, depending on the length of the race we want.
You have quads, sand rails, buggies, bikes. You guys, do everything. When you come to a monster truck race, you get to see like 6 styles of racing.
Well, that's what makes this company so unique, is we want to give the people different things. We don't want to bore them with the same old thing. And, each element of the show that we do has its own excitement, and it touches a different part of a fan. One fan may like the Quad Wars, another fan's going to like the monsters or the thrills or whatever. So we like that. That's what sells tickets, and that's what makes us the best.
That's what makes it an event, not just a race, right?
Oh,
how's that sound?
That's better. Yeah, you're better at this than I am.
That's a way to close out a good interview, wouldn't you say?
I would say that would do it.
That's Bob, but he spells his name backwards.
Yeah.
Over 13,000 fans packed the Windy City's Rosemont Horizon for the second night of Monster Truck Mania. It was a short-lived evening for Dennis Anderson and his Gravedigger, racing Super Truck number 20. Gravedigger gets disqualified after he knocks down the course pylon in the opening round. Super Truck 20 advances, and Gravedigger's done. There was a good matchup early between Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher and Paul Schaefer's Monster Patrol. Porter continues a solid season of racing the 95 Chevy as he advances past Monster Patrol, then goes on to the final round after destroying Super Truck 20 in the semifinals. Gary Bauer and Nightmare 2 pulled off the round 1 upset over Tony Farrell and the unique Wild Thing. Nightmare 2 gets bitten, though, in the next round by Snakebite, who worked its way to the final round after sinking its fangs into both Nightmare and Rambo. In the finals, it's Snakebite who slithers easily through the Roundy Round track on his way to the victory. Snakebite getting the win, knocking off Carolina Crusher in the finale.
I think I 8 of the best trucks out here, and I'm a fairly new driver, only been in
racing snakebite for 3 years now, and a lot of the other guys have a lot more experience than I have. And I just watch what they're doing and take them on.
And a little freestyle, a nice wheelie, half the length of the court.
Yeah, that was pretty decent. I didn't see anybody else trying to do any wheelies out here. I said, well, I'll try it. I didn't know. I knew the track was real tacky, so I said, well, I'll try it and see what happens.
Hey, there's great racing here in Chicago. Quad wars are going off behind me. I'm going to show you all that later on. Now we're going to go to the JAMA question of the week. Time to pay attention.
JAMA question of the week.
Hi, I'm Terry Bubash, and I'm from Chicago, Illinois. My JAMA question is, what kind of fuel do the monster trucks use?
While you ponder this week's JAMA question, have a look at this week's IMJ calendar.
Fright Night 6, Spooks Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky on October 31st and November 1st. The Pulling World Finals will be in Houston at the Astrodome November 15th. And the 98 Monster Jam World Tour invades a city near you, January 3rd in St. Louis at the Trans World Dome, January 2nd to the 4th in San Francisco at the Cow Palace, January 3rd in Seattle at the Kingdome, January 10th in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome, and January 17th in Tempe, Arizona at ASU Sun Devil Stadium.
I'm Adam Murphy, and coming up next on Inside Monster Jam, I got the Indie Industry BMX racing team. And let me tell you, these guys are insane. Oh, but then again, so am I.
Inside Monster Jam. We'll be right back. Here's your jammer answer.
Hi, I'm Sky Hartley, driver of the Snakebite Monster Truck, and I have the answer to the JAMA question of the week. These trucks run on methanol alcohol. When we're wide open, we burn 1 gallon every 7 seconds. And that's an expensive weekend on the Monster Race.
Great racing here from Chi-Town. Now we get the BMX boys, stars of ESPN2's Extreme Games. My buddy Adam Murphy did a little segment on them this morning. Let's talk to them, see what they're all about. I can't even see what's going on, but I know it's good. Listen to the fans.
As far as our bikes are all heavy-duty steel, 4130 chrome moly, super thick, beefed up in the areas you need to be beefed up in. This bike right here, it's custom made. It's a one-of-a-kind. Of course, most rims you go out in the bike shop, they have 36 spokes on them. This has 48 spokes on them. Double thick walls, machined super thick steer tube and fork. It's got a gyro system on it so that when I'm spinning my bars and I need my brakes still to work, my bars will still spin. Brakes still work the whole entire time around.
Yeah, there's quite a few backflips. Obviously, everybody's favorite. You've got tail whips, 360s, nothings, Superman seat grabs. There's just a ton of tricks out right now.
I have this one's set up for flatland, so I have extra pegs and stuff like that, which has on their bikes. It's not like all pegs. It's a little less than what I have because I'm not really a jumper.
Lots of great racing going on in Chicago. I love it. When the fans love it, I love it. Now we're going to go up to Seattle, Washington. More killer Inside Monster Jam. Is this great or what? Yeah. Scream as loud as you can.
Yeah. Monster Trucks.
Seattle is known for good music, decent coffee houses, and a reputation for bringing down the house when the monster trucks come to town. 56,000 jammed inside the Kingdome for the USHRA Monster Jam, and Bob Cole gets them going with his high-flying antics as the crowd's pumped up for monster truck race action. Here's a great matchup early between two legends. Bigfoot on the bottom, Barefoot on the top. This one is close, but it goes to Bigfoot as he gets the nod into the next round. Now, Tom Mintz is notorious for racing the Monster Patrol to his mechanical limits, and against Snakebite, he doesn't hold back. Even though he landed off center, he's able to move to the semifinal round versus Torres with the win. But that's where Mintz gives new meaning to the phrase, "that was close." In unbelievable fashion, he saves Monster Patrol from flipping over. What a move by Tom Mintz. Indeed, you deserve to take a bow off after that one. That'll be a classic IMJ moment for a long time. Let's take another look at it. You can see almost over on his lid, but somehow Tom Mintz is able to gather the Monster Patrol in despite the fact that the wheels virtually touch the sides to the ground. What an incredible moment on IMJ. Here we go to the other semifinal round race where Bigfoot faces off against Gravedigger. Digger is able to come away with the victory, but in the finals, he would lose to Torres, although Torres and Eldon Depew will actually roll it over during the freestyle portion of the competition. It was a wild, wild night in Seattle. Torres is the winner, and the fans are rocking and rolling as Eldon Depew climbs out of the truck unharmed.
Outlaw Quad Wars.
With only one win in 4 attempts, Team North in white needs a big victory in front of 58,000 rabid Silverdome fans. North co-captain number 4 Randy Dinkins is on the receiving end of a questionable bump and grind maneuver by Team South's co-captain Hank DeHart. But on the final lap, Dinkins gets revenge by running DeHart wide and off of the quad. It could have been ruled a foul, but as the official said afterwards, if you're going to dish it out, you better be ready to take it, because there are no rules in the Outlaw Quad War Series. With the win, Team North is closing the gap on the South. They have an opportunity to even it up next time on Inside Monster Jam.
Stadium lights.
Inside the TWA Dome in St. Louis, where the stadium lights tore up the track. Front-runner Darren Mitchell looked to be opening up a wide margin over second-place Joey Waldron when he decides to put on a show for the 32,929 spectators in attendance. He flips it head over heels after the jump, then continues on his way to the checkered flag for the victory. I've got to see that one more time. File that under luck.
Hello, I'm Dan Allen from New York. We're here in town to kick Chicago's butt. You stay tuned to IMJ.
Get dominated with Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger. Everything you want to know. Stuff you've never seen before. Rollovers, car crushing, and stuff Dennis didn't think we caught on tape. One rockin' monster, one crazy driver. Get domination today. Call for your copy or send a check or money order for $14.95 plus shipping and handling to Domination, care of Pace Motorsports, 477 East Butterfield, Suite 400, Lombard, Illinois, 60.
Inside Monster Jam.
Man, everybody loves monster trucks. In Tampa, there was a group of special kids, really, really big fans. They got to hang out with pro wrestlers and pro football players. Let's have a look.
At Houlihan Stadium in Tampa, Florida, over 54,000 fans screamed for their favorite trucks and drivers. Among the loudest were a group of children whose visit was made possible by the Make-A-Wish Foundation, a nonprofit group that turns terminally ill children's dreams into reality.
These guys are our heroes, you know what I'm saying? They put a smile on our face instead of us putting a smile on these kids' face. These kids are great. They give us the strength that we need sometimes, right, John? Right, Joe?
Yeah, exactly.
In a time when smiles are hard to come by, the Make-A-Wish Foundation and the USHRA Monster Trucks teamed together and made a lot of dreams come true for an exceptional group of youngsters.
Anytime you can go out in the community and help people and make kids smile and make them laugh, and a lot of kids that are having trouble, and make them go that extra step that they need the help to do, then it's worthwhile, you know. I mean, everything you do in life, it's all about really the beauty and the purity of life.
That was a really great special night for the kids from Make-A-Wish Foundation. You know, the kids love this.
Yeah, they sure do. You know, if it wasn't for the kids, you know, they power me to come out here and do this. The kids really get into it, and, you know, I really enjoy seeing them, the expression on their face, you know, everything. And, you know, I just hope that we can influence a lot of kids out here to keep them off of drugs and, you know, let them live their wish out.
Yeah, have a good time.
That's
it's
right.
All about having fun.
Yeah, it sure is.
More IMJ Racing.
Although there are no points involved in regional quad action, the rivalry between Team New York in black and Team Chicago in white had the sellout crowd at the Rosemont Horizon juiced up. Number 24, Ricky Vogel of Nassau County, New York, was seeing stars after he hits race leader Chuck Miller on the descent after the jump. Vogel would be okay. Now, more wreckage at the back of the pack when two Team Chicagoans mix it up on the jump. Neither one of them would be seriously injured, although they were both clearly shaken up. Now, on the last lap, you knew this was going to be a tight one. Keep your eyes on the front of the pack. Number 3, Richie Tompkins trying to hold off number 1, Dan Allen. And in midair, they get tangled up and over they go in a tremendous crash. Tompkins gets up, shaken up indeed, but he's still moving. Dan Allen was okay as well. And Bobby Cox, the clown, with an assist for Richie Tompkins as he gets to carry the checkered flag around the Rosemont horizon. On to arena cross action. Number 52, Tom Luther moves by Mark Queen on the tight corner for the early lead. Now, by the final lap, number 9, Jimmy Ramda, had moved out front and caught the back of the pack, while 2 riders were chasing him in second place. They touched tires, and that allowed Ramda to bring the checkered flag back home to the folks in Oswego, Illinois.
Every week, we take a look at your favorite truck and your favorite driver. Nothing's going to change this week. It's a closer look.
Well, you're definitely playing and having a good time when you have a custom paint job like the Gravedigger. The graveyard scene, did you notice, people, on some of the graves? There's some competitors' names, Bigfoot, Carolina Crusher. There's a little dig, huh?
Yeah, it is. And you know, and you know what? Some of those guys, I was afraid when I first put it on there, it kind of like they get an attitude. Heck, these guys are actually kind of jealous because they're not on there sometimes. You're like, how come my truck? I'm not good enough to be on there?
Is that funny? What a strange concept.
I know it. And I was afraid it was going to be the other way around.
How about the Gravedigger concept? Where did that come from?
I made it up, and I had an old guy there at home do the paint scheme. I made up the name, and he created a paint job for me to go along with the name that I'd made up. But man, I just made it up one night and sprayed it on the side of an old pickup truck that I had. It was just junk, you know, but man, everybody knew it and everybody loved it, and it just lived forever, it seemed like.
Showdown.
The final night of Monster Truck Mania Chicago style set Rosemont Horizon decibel records. Dennis Anderson and his Gravedigger gave the fans something to cheer about as he tears up the track in his opening round matchup with Paul Schaefer's Monster Patrol. At the finish line, give the victory to Gravedigger, moving him into the second round of competition. Carolina Crusher and Gary Porter with a little too much bounce in the tires against Brian Welch in Super Truck 20. After knocking down a track pylon, Crusher gets disqualified and is done for the night. So it's Super Truck 20 who is able to move into the next round for the second straight race. Well, IMJ is really catching fire on ESPN2. Actually, it's Gary Bauer's Nightmare 2, who after a close loss to Snakebite in the semifinals, burst into flames. Luckily, Bauer is a firefighter during the week, so he had the situation under control with his onboard fire extinguisher.
It was basically, the motor was all on fire. You burnt the top. What happened?
Well, we had a fuel injection line problem, and I don't know whether a piece of the car possibly might have hit the line and severed the line and sent fuel all over the exhaust system and completely engulfed the motor compartment and burnt the tarp on the bed of the truck, and that's really about the only thing that bothered.
Pretty much thumbs up to the track crew, though. They were on it. Everybody had the extinguishers. It was out right away.
Well, I'll tell you, you know, like you said there, it only took us about 20 seconds, and the thing was completely out, unharmed, and ready to race again.
On the top of the screen, it's Dennis Anderson and Gravedigger, and Dennis does not repeat the previous night's mistake against Super Truck 20. He cruises the roundy-round track for the semifinal victory and a berth in the championship matchup against Snakebite and Sky Hartley. Now, Snakebite knew that Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger would not be a walkover in the finals. Anderson actually has to save the truck from rolling over. He reels it back in, launches over the finish line, but Snakebite comes out just ahead. Sky Hartley is our 1/900 Pro Race winner.
Sky is the man tonight. Chicago, 3 really cool shows. It's a good weekend for you. Let's get the Snakebite thing going. Next time on IMJ, Oklahoma City. Stay tuned. We're going to go off. Big time, some huge air. Everybody's going to be like, guys, we're fighting the quad bus. These guys, they eat too much red meat.
Way too much red meat. Them guys are crazy.
But that don't make no difference because it's all about monster trucks. Monster Jam Madness. Am I talking to you?
Inside Monster Jam heads to Oklahoma City for 2 nights of monster truck action. Coming at you next Monday at 6:30 p.m. That's next Monday at 6:30 right here on ESPN2.